Hello friends, welcome to my channel Bad Decisions and Pure Awkwardness. I'm your host Elizabeth. Today, we're going to talk about some makeup that I feel is holiday makeup. Christmas or New Year's. I've got some ideas as far as New Year's goes. So I just feel like these palettes are going to be more holiday-ish, more Christmassy. Anyway, I'm drinking Substance Cabernet Sauvignon from Charles Smith, small winery from what I understand. And it is delicious. I am 2 glasses in, so I apologize. I cannot be held responsible for whatever happens in this video. I'm going to start off with one brand eyeshadow palettes. So the first one that we're gonna look at is the Natasha Denona Gold Mini Gold palette. I feel like this is Christmassy because if you look, it's kind of olivey green for the most part. At least 1, 2, 3 of the shades are olivey gold. But then you have this beautiful gold in the center. I mean, look at that. That is so stunning. So yeah, great for a holiday look. If you want to go just like all green, the mattes in here, you can make it even just like a neutral. You could just do this color with like gold all over your lid, or this color with green all over your lid. I just find this to be like a beautiful, like shimmery, sparkly moment. Next one we're going to talk about is the Stone Vibes palette from Urban Decay. This is my first and only Urban Decay palette. Had to calm some cats down. So that was fun. So I got all sweaty and I had to take off my shawl. Anyway, this is the Urban Decay Stone Vibes palette. It's so pretty on the outside. Oh my God. It's beautiful on the inside as well. I got this from my friend Katie, so thank you, Katie. But I've never owned anything Urban Decay before, surprisingly. I know, right? Everybody had the freaking Naked palettes, right? I did not. I got the Balm palette that is the same exact thing. I don't know what the quality is supposed to be as far as like the Urban Decay formula is, but I'm not the biggest fan of the mattes in here. I've used this shade probably the most just because it's like a good blending shade. The other ones, not so sure about. The other one that I'm not so sure about is this Bloodstone palette, or I'm sorry, color. But the other ones are very pretty. I think of this with Christmas and like holidays because of how like sparkly and shimmery those are. So there is the Jade shade. Here's Opal Aura and Ojo, whatever. And when I see this, I just think of like Christmas lights, Christmas ornaments. Like they're beautiful. I mean, such pretty colors. I wish that some of the mattes performed as well as the shimmers, but such a beautiful, beautiful color story. Also, like, because of that, I think of this as more of a companion palette because the mattes are like, meh. So now we're gonna get into like kind of brands. The next one is gonna be the Urge palette from Odin's Eye. I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. It's gonna be Christmassy, it's green, but you can also do a lot with this. I know there's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shades in here, but you can go kind of just basic and neutral, or you can go super sparkly and get into like really deep. These shades are so pretty. You've got a split pan here. You can mix those together. This one is more of like a goldy white base shade. And this one is going to be silvery, but it's also like kind of a blue toned. It's beautiful. And there are those two swatched out. I mean, beautiful. Also, Waffles is sitting like right beside me, right here. Hey, buddy. And he is into this, let me tell you. Another one from Odin's Eye. I know this is not going to be for everyone, but Norn's palette. And when I see this palette and I think of Christmas, obviously you have your red, you have your green. But also it's just so sparkly. It reminds me of like Christmas lights. And these shades on the bottom are just so vibrant. It makes me think Christmas lights. I mean, this one, it's called I never knew that. It's called Hallucination. This one's called Self, Glamour, and Charming. And doesn't that just make you think of like lights, of Christmas lights? There are the shades swatched out and just so beautiful and sparkly. We're gonna do Glam Light. So Glam Light came out with a collection this year called the Happy Hour collection. And I got all 4 palettes, and these 2 palettes are very different in the sense of holiday looks. Do you feel better about yourself now that you've done that? Does that make you feel good? I know it doesn't look like much, but this is the Chocolate Martini palette from Glam Light. That's what the front looks like. This is what it looks like inside. And when I think of like Christmas, maybe I wouldn't personally naturally gravitate to a neutral look, but I feel like this is like Christmas party kind of vibes. Like you're going to a work party. Who does that anymore? Does anybody do that anymore? Oh, that's sad. But anyway, yeah, you've got lots of neutral shades to work with, but the stars of the show are obviously the shimmers. You've got so many golds in here and just shimmery shades in general. Sorry, my hands are stained. So many shimmers in general that you don't need anything else. So there are just those 3 shimmers. I've got some staining on my hand, sorry. So you've got that pop of purple, but it's an interesting purple because it's not like solid purple. You can shear this out to just be like a wash of color and you can be done. But then you've got Vanilla Vodka, which is the shade. That is like one of the most beautiful golds I have ever seen. And it is so sheer. It would just look so beautiful just all over the eyes. Editing Elizabeth here. I don't know what happened to some of my footage or what I did. I'm real confused because I kind of remember doing it. But I wanted to show you the Dirty Martini palette and I will show it now. It is a beautiful all green palette, but also it is has a lot of like goldy colors to it, and I just think it's obviously a pretty green Christmassy kind of color story. Also there are some teals in there that would look really nice with like an all neutral look with a pop of green or like teal. So FYI, we'll enjoy the rest of the palettes. Sorry I missed that one. Next, let's talk about ColourPop. So when I went through my collection personally, and I know there's like a million different ColourPop releases every single week, but whenever I went through my collection, I came up with 2 palettes. So first we have the So Jaded palette. Now, when you look at this, you might not automatically think Christmas. You do have your reds and greens, red, green, green. This emerald green is so beautiful that, just that shade alone, perfect for Christmas. But it screams like, again, like these jewel tones just scream like Christmas party, like Christmas ornaments, Christmas lights to me. You've got a lot to work with. You can go neutral with a pop of color. You can use these two glitters. So you've got, I think this is Topaz and Opal. Opal reminds me of like snowflakes. And then Topaz is like this darker kind of gold color. So there is Topaz and Opal all swatched out. So beautiful. And I know glitters are not everybody's favorite, especially pressed glitters, but these are especially pretty. Now the other shade I want to show you in this palette that makes me think glittery, shimmery, sparkling lights is this diamond color. And it's like a Super Shock shadow formula, but and I don't know if I can do it justice. This shade down here, with my lighting, you can't really see it very well. It's a beautiful topper shade. You could use that with like a color in your crease, just all over the lid. You can top it on any of these beautiful matte shades that are bright and vibrant. Maybe with this purple would be really pretty. With this emerald green, it would be really pretty. This blue, oh God, that would be so pretty. So I feel like you can do a lot of holiday fun looks with this. The next color pop I'm going to show you is Wine and Only, and it looks like this. And then the inside looks like this. This again, so beautiful if you want like a very sultry or a very deep dramatic look. Definitely think you could do something with this. It is right now for me tied for first place as far as like the best ColourPop eyeshadow palette ever, and the other one is going to be the Blue Moon palette. They both are just so beautiful. They perform so well. There are so many looks you can create with them. The mattes in here are like, I don't know how to describe it. They're quality wise, they're pretty up there as far as like pretty close to like Natasha Denona palettes. But yeah, just a beautiful red palette. I know it's intimidating because it is dark. This row, if you wanted to do like a more plummy look, this color right here, which is Moncherry. This one's more of a plummy color. This color here called Grapeful is gonna be a, it looks very sparkly on camera, but it is a matte with like glitters in it. And no, that's not for everybody, but it is a perfect matte. It blends beautifully. Now you're gonna have more red tones up here, like true reds. Blanc, which is this color right here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Like lighter color, you're gonna have like pink tones. It's just everything, in my opinion. It's beautiful. Now, a palette that's like very, very similar to that is this Berries palette from Julius Place. And this one's a little more pink toned than red toned, but you've got very similar shimmers right here and here. Again, another sultry, more dramatic kind of look, but also red toned, berry toned. If you wanted to complement either of those two with a green, just like kind of like what I've done, this is the Julius Place Rebel Army palette, and it's just a quad, so it's easy to work with. These are more like a grungy, darker kind of green. Like this one is more grungy, so you can go that route, or you can dip into this more like chunky, lighter green and go into those. So very, very beautiful. They swatch like a dream. They go on the eyes like a dream. Perfect complement to a red toned eye palette. Sticking with Julius Place, we're going to talk about the Saharan 2 palette, which looking at the front, you probably think, how did she get Christmas holiday out of that? But looking at it, you do have your red tones. You can go very neutral with a pop of color. This color is like a light blue, so it reminds me kind of like snow and that kind of thing. So, and even, oh my gosh, I just realized the Julius Place Rebel Army palette with these two colors. I mean, you could create a look right there. But yeah, I always have fun playing with this. I don't play with it enough, but like if you wanted to just do like I said, like a blue look, these 3 shimmers, perfect. If you wanted to do just a neutral look, you have that. This, like I said, this blue just reminds me of snow. The other blue reminds me of ornaments and lights. Got 2 more Julius Place palettes. Now, when I think of like the holidays, I think of like Christmas parties and things like that. These 2 palettes are obviously going to be in here because they are just so like fun and bright and sparkly. So we've got the Julius Place Walhalla palette 1. I know it's pretty beat up on the front. I'm a little hard with my palettes. This is what it looks like on the inside. Again, party. You've got this row of blues. You've got a really beautiful gold, which I've hit pan on. I've almost hit pan on this blue too. These 2 are pressed glitters. That one is too. But I've definitely hit pan on that. Looks like I've almost hit pan on that one. But you've got a lot of options for a party here. I mean like a party. I also think that the Julius Place Walhalla 2 palette is great for a party, especially these 3 rows right here. The blues and the white silvers. Oh my goodness. These shades are probably like some of my favorite shades in my collection, especially Frame, which looks white in the pan, but swatched out, it almost looks gold to me. I don't know if you can see it, it's in the bottom. Yeah, it looks almost gold to me. Such a neat addition to this palette. You've also got some pressed glitters in here. This one is Globe, and it is a true silver. It would be really fun to put this all over your eye. Wouldn't that be fun? Or you could do that in the inner corner, or you could do all like blues and then a pop of this, or you could use any kind of shade in here would work well with this. I love that. Last 2 palettes I'm going to talk about are kind of obvious, but not really. So this is the Wilderness palette. It's how I did my eyes today. I used this palette. Now I will say, I had a challenge doing this look, but that was not this palette's fault. It was my challenge. But here she is. This is what she looks like. Obviously, you have your reds and your greens. That is the obvious choice that I made today. But you've also got these beautiful blues, which I think this top row, make for a good holiday look. This is right beside the orange, so it's gonna look a little orange, but it goes on the eyes like more gold than anything. This shade is like a green gold kind of look. I don't know if you can see the shifts, but that is what it looks like, kind of all over my hand. You could use this as a highlight. You could just use this as a topper. And then this blue is like a light blue in the pan, but it reminds me of like Elsa, right? Right? I mean, it's just so pretty. Final palette that I want to talk about is The Age of Opulence. Now, I've done one video, I think, on this, and I've done several looks with this. And I know it doesn't look like it from the outside, that it's like gonna be a holiday Christmassy palette. And on the inside, you might not think holiday Christmassy when you first look at it, but it's so beautiful with the jewel tones that it makes me think of Christmas. It makes me think of the New Year's kind of looks. The other day, I'll try to pop a picture in right here. I did a look with all the golds, so a very neutral look with just all the golds, and it reminded me so much of a New Year's Eve look and like the ball dropping and everything. And you could do that with like, I think it would be beautiful to do all the golds with like a pop of this blue or this purple like on the inner corner. Any of these palettes would be good for anybody, I think, because you can kind of just go basic with one eyeshadow looks, or you can make it fun like I did. Not that neutral looks are bad. I picked a neutral palette for my holiday looks. So yeah, let me know what palettes that you have that you think are more Christmassy or just holiday in general. I'd like to do this with maybe for New Year's Eve, because I do have some more sparkly ones. Let me know if you want to see this for like every holiday. I think that would be fun, especially St. Patty's Day, because I have a lot of green in my collection. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, bye.